Hamas did on October 7th can be justified?
Well, we don't know what they did do, but was it justified for them to resist the occupation? Yeah. But again, it's what you said, it's the Geneva Conventions. They are absolutely legally and morally bound to resist the occupation since 1967. It's an obligation.
But are there limits on the way in which they can resist?
As I said in the statement that I put out after it, I said, if war crimes were committed, I condemn them. I don't care who it is.
And here we are now 3 weeks or so after. Do you think there's been evidence that's emerged that suggests they committed those?
There may have been individuals. I was reading a news story this morning, which Grey Zone, our friend Max Blumenthal. So there's a long story which I read this morning, but Haaretz have finally come out with figures of how many people were actually killed and who they were.
On that day,
On that day, yeah. And so probably the first 400 were Israeli military personnel. That is not a war crime.
No, clearly everyone thinks military officials and military targets or soldiers in Israel are
military
if
you believe
targets.
in the Geneva Conventions or not,
right?
Or the United Nations.
But what about targeting civilians or abducting them?
No, of course not. No, of course I don't condone that. But the thing was thrown out of all proportion by the Israelis making up stories about beheading babies. They even got the President of the United States, dotard that he is, to claim that he had seen photographs
of the beheaded babies. Yeah, and then admitted that he actually didn't. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's. But what we do know is whether it was a false flag operation or not, or whatever happened, and whatever story we're going to get to. And we don't know if we will ever get much of a real story. It's always hard to tell what actually happened. They're calling it their 9/11. What the hell happened on the American 9/11? Nobody knows. Clearly the official narrative has huge holes in it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say. What is your...
How do you say... rubbish. No, I don't. This is the whole point of the difference between my platform and the Israeli government. I believe in equal human rights for all our brothers and sisters all over the world, irrespective of their ethnicity, religion, or nationality. All of them. The Israeli government doesn't. For instance, just in that locale there, what we could call the Holy Land, if we wanted to, they consider that people who of the Jewish religion have complete